Am I wrong for not agreeing to have a child? So me, 38 male, and my wife, 38 female, have been married for 6 years. I'm being pushed by her to agree to have a child because she fears she's going into menopause, and I'm not agreeing, and this has been a constant point of conflict. I feel I might be an idiot for taking this opportunity from her, but at the same time, I have my own reasons, all converging on the fact that it's a human child we are talking about, not a cat pet you can return back to shelter. My reasons. 1. We have never even been physical because of her physiological issues. It looks to me that my happiness was never part of her calculation. She has just sought help for her issues just because of her intent to have a child, but never had before. 2. We constantly argue about repeat arguments. If I don't agree to what she says, she wouldn't let it go. I myself have temper issues. I stop talking to her or binge eat, and I can't deal with stress like an adult. I have broken my phone in one occasion. 3. She's not responsible in my opinion. She doesn't work, she doesn't study or do anything useful. She spends her days laying in bed on her phone. We share the cooking and filling the dishwasher, but other house maintenance is all on me, like hovering, trash, deep cleaning and stuff, so I think I'm putting more. I keep telling her, but she turns the table on me, that I didn't apply for jobs for her. I've told her that I would help and give pointers, and have applied for her and talked on behalf of her to recruiters on multiple occasions. But I stopped after seeing she is not picking up the mantle. 4. I'm full-time employed and I get home 8 p.m. so we have little time together. I have been spending less and less time with her as we are getting more distanced. 5. I've floated the idea of divorce, but she labels me that I'm threatening to abuse her, cries and tells me she doesn't have anywhere to go, and I back off. I don't mean it as a threat, I'm just fed up but can't bring myself to break status quo. 6. Every time we have repeat argument, like she wants me to quit my job and run a startup. I don't have an idea, and I'm not an entrepreneur material. Some people are not built for that. I get fed up and tell that maybe she needs to find someone else. And then she brings up this guy she had been talking to that has moved to Dubai to run a startup, telling me that he wanted her to leave me and go with him, and now he is marrying and she has lost her chances. 7. Honestly, you can return a cat to a shelter, but I can live with my bad choices. But the idea of a child having no choice to be born into this drama, God, it eats my souls away. She keeps saying that it's her life dream to become a mom. I keep telling her she needs to find another meaning. Even working for free in a charity is better than this.
Am I wrong for refusing to pay to have my friend's house cleaned? I had to quickly come down to the city where I grew up due to the death of a close family member. It was a pretty spur-of-the-moment occurrence, and I had to drop things rather quickly. I informed one of my friends and they offered to put me up for a few days. I said that would be great, but told them I'd have my dogs with me, so totally understood if they wouldn't be able to. The friend said it would be fine, and they were more than happy to host me. For context, my dogs are not badly trained by any standard, but they are both large breed dogs, a lab and a GSD, so of course can be a bit much for many non-dog owners. I am aware of this, and that's why I usually don't bring them to people's houses. I made the 5-hour drive down and my friend came out to greet me. When unpacking the car, I let the dogs out and immediately they went off to toilet, since it was a long trip. My lab went into the bushes to pee, but the GSD began to pee in the middle of the front porch. Don't ask me why, but she much prefers peeing on hard surfaces, and my friend immediately freaked out. I was a bit confused and apologized, but it's outside, so didn't get why she was so freaked out. The dogs were fine the entire stay. They are non-eventful inside. They let me know when they need out, and I clean up the poo straight away. I keep them under good supervision. At the end of the trip, my friend sent me a text saying, "Hey, as you'd know, the house is quite messy because of the dogs, and I'm going to hire a cleaner. Would you mind paying me for that?" I was a bit taken aback. The dogs had 0 accidents inside, didn't break anything. I asked what she meant, and she explained that there was dog hair everywhere. The thing is, they are shedding dogs. I know that. If she'd asked me to vacuum up after them, I would have. But she didn't. I also don't think a deep clean would be necessary. A quick vacuum of the carpets, couch, bed, etc. would be more than enough to remove any trace. I don't know what to do. I didn't ask to stay with her. She offered. I told her about my dogs and she was fine with that.
Am I wrong for giving my son's girlfriend a budget for the dinners she's making? My son, 23 male, graduated university back in June, and he moved back across the country to live with us since he found a job in the area. He's been in a long-distance relationship with his girlfriend, Carmela, 21 female, until October. She initially took a semester off from college and was living with her mom. However, she's decided she's not going back. Her mom said she would have to move out and she had nowhere to go. My son is moving into his own place in January and had invited her to move in already, saying she could get a job in the area. However, she needed to move out sooner, and they both asked me if she could move in. I agree. Neither are paying rent, as I personally don't believe in charging my kids to live here, so it felt wrong to charge Carmela any. I just asked that they clean up after themselves and be respectful of everyone. They agreed. Carmela moved in after Halloween, and she's been a joy to have here. She's still looking for a job. Most nights, she's offered to cook dinner to give back to us. I've always told her it's not necessary, but she insists. She's a good cook, so I tell her if she wants to, have at it. A week into her living here, she mentioned wanting to make a certain dish, but we didn't have the ingredients. I offered to give her my card so she could buy groceries. Since then, it's become a regular thing. I didn't mind it initially. She picked up my groceries as well, and it seemed to be a good deal all around. But then, a couple of weeks in, she started wanting to make multiple trips a week and buy things that I normally wouldn't budget for on a regular basis, such as steak and seafood. I asked her on Sunday when she went to the store to please get everything she needed in one trip. She said, "Okay." I thought that solved the problem. Cut to Monday night, and we finished dinner. She and my son are talking while I'm doing the dishes. Carmela mentions wanting to make steak on Thursday. My son says that sounds good. Carmela says she'll have to go back to the store. My son turns to me and says, "Mom, give her the card." I tell them no. I say I already gave her money to go shopping on Sunday and told her to get everything she needed. I also said we can't swing everyone having steaks this week, 6 people in the house, but maybe I can make them for Christmas dinner. I then go on to say if Carmela wants to keep cooking for us, which I appreciate, I am going to put her on a budget. I apologize for not doing it sooner. Carmela looks upset, and my son seems offended. Later on, my son tells me I embarrassed Carmela when she's just trying to be nice. I said I appreciate her cooking dinner, but she's doing it on my dime, and I can't afford this. I pointed out he's free to give her money to do this. My son pointed out they're only here a few more weeks. Can't I just make my guest happy? Am I really in the wrong here?
Am I wrong for kicking my mom out after she brought up my deceased baby and my past addiction in front of my new boyfriend? I, 24 female, am trying so hard to rebuild my life. 2 years ago, I was struggling with addiction. I got clean, I got help, I started over. A year later, I had a baby. He passed away shortly after birth from complications. Losing him almost made me relapse. I didn't, but it shattered something in me that will never fully heal. My mom, 42 female, has never been supportive of any version of me. The hurt one, the recovering one, the mother, the grieving one. She only shows up when she can be the victim. She loves attention, but not accountability. When my baby died, instead of comforting me, she said, "You shouldn't have gotten pregnant so fast after getting clean. Maybe now you'll be more responsible." I still can't think about those words without crying. Anyway, I recently met someone, 30 male. He's gentle, patient, and kind. The first person who makes me feel like I'm not broken. He knows I've been through hard things, but I hadn't told him everything yet. I wanted to share my story when I felt secure. So one night he comes over for dinner at my place. I'm nervous but excited. Everything is going perfect. We're laughing, cooking, talking. Then my mom shows up, uninvited, just lets herself in like she still owns me. Obviously, I gave her a spare key, we live away from family, and it's just us. She immediately starts scanning him like she's a spy, asking what he does, how much he makes, if he comes from a stable family, all with this condescending tone like she's auditioning him for a job she doesn't even have authority over. Then she turns to him and says with a straight face, "Before you get too attached, you should know she already had a baby." But he didn't survive. I yelled out, "Mom, what?" She ignored me. "She probably didn't tell you because she feels guilty. I told her not to get her hopes up. Addicts don't usually have healthy pregnancies." Then she said the most evil thing I've ever heard. Maybe if she hadn't wasted those years on drugs, her body wouldn't be so damaged. I broke. I flipped out and everything went black. I just remember calling her every name under the sun. My boyfriend was stunned, and I don't blame him. She obviously left, arguing on the way out, but everything was such a blur at that point, I can't even tell you what was said. I screamed at her to get out. I remember that. I don't even remember what I said, I just saw red. After she left, she texted me paragraph after paragraph about how I embarrassed her, how I'm still unstable, how she won't sugarcoat reality just because I'm sensitive, and all this other unnecessary stuff I don't care to hear. I blocked her. Now my sister and mother are calling me dramatic, disrespectful, saying I humiliated my mother by kicking her out. My boyfriend has been nothing but supportive. He held me while I cried. He didn't judge my past at all. He didn't leave, but now I'm questioning myself. Was I be wrong?
Am I wrong for wanting to spend a Christmas with my parents and siblings instead of my wife and kids? My wife and I have been together for almost 15 years now. We live in the state where I grew up and where my family lives. Every Christmas, we go to stay with my wife's family for the holidays. We usually fly out Christmas Eve and come home around New Year's. This Christmas will be our 14th one together, and the 12th where we have gone to her family's house. The only 2 times we haven't gone are when she was too pregnant to fly, and when weather cancelled all the flights, and we couldn't get out there in time. That particular year, I drove our family to another state to catch a plane, but we still couldn't get there for the actual day. I've expressed my frustration that we always go to her family's for Christmas before, but I've gone along with it, since we're so much closer to my family for the rest of the year. We still see her parents about 4 times a year, with them coming out to stay with us, or us flying out there. Also, my family is really boring for Christmas. It's just my parents and my 2 siblings, and my dad will fall asleep after presents and a big meal. Her family has basically a full reunion every year. Her mom's side does a big party on Christmas Day, and her dad's side does one a couple days later. It is the only time of the year where my wife gets to see everyone, so I know it's special. I should note that we will usually do a small Christmas get-together with my family, where we have dinner and exchange gifts before we fly out to my in-laws. We're going out there this year, 2025. 2 nights ago, though, I told my wife that next year, 2026, I would like to spend Christmas with my family, and then fly out the next day to spend the remainder of the trip with her family. My wife then lost it. We have 3 kids, and she couldn't believe I would choose to be with my parents over our children for Christmas. I told her that I knew I couldn't ask her to miss her family's Christmas to be with mine, because she is miserable when we do so. I know Christmas would be ruined if I took the kids with me, so that was out of the question. I also said I couldn't believe she's asked me to miss every Christmas with my family, and that I just wanted to spend one with them. It's not like I don't want to miss Christmas with my wife and kids, but I know she would hate missing her Christmas, and I know my kids would enjoy going to my in-laws more. I just feel like I want to have that day with my family, especially since my youngest sibling, who is a recovering drug addict, has just started wanting to come back to the family and be a bigger part of our lives. I know we technically do our own Christmas with my family, but it's just not the same. I still miss out on our traditions, and it hurts my parents that we are never there on Christmas Day. My wife didn't talk to me at all yesterday and said she thought I was trying to get prepared for divorce by saying that. I told her that's not it at all, but that I just want to spend a Christmas with my parents and siblings. She thinks I'm intentionally trying to hurt her or her family. I feel like I'm going crazy because I don't think it's that big of a deal. But she and I are not on the same page at all about this. So, am I wrong for wanting to do a Christmas with my parents instead of my wife and kids? Am I wrong for leaving Thanksgiving with my sister? Some background: my sister's 8-year-old daughter is overweight, not obese, just chubby. It has been a point of contention between our mom and my sister for at least a year, after an incident on July 4th where mom told my niece she was fat, and when my niece asked her what to do, she said something along the line of, "Just stop eating." Sis stopped bringing her around our mom. Just flat out cut her out of my niece's life. To this day, mom thinks she did the right thing for her granddaughter's health. The incident, Thanksgiving was at mom's this year. It was going to be the first time they were physically in the same place since the 4th. My niece is deathly allergic to peanuts. Literally, they all carry an EpiPen. Her throat closes. Mom used peanuts in almost every dish and dessert except for the vegetables. Niece could safely eat the Brussels sprouts, salad, sweet potatoes, and turkey. That was it. Everything else, green bean casserole, stuffing, pies, cookies, hors d'oeuvres, candied yams, mom had, according to her, added some kind of peanut product too. If my sister wasn't going to teach her daughter how to eat healthy, then she would, damn it. My sister and her husband left, and I went with them along with our brother and his wife and their kids. So basically, most of the party. I get being concerned about a person's health because of their weight, but my niece is so young. Yeah, maybe if she becomes problematically overweight, to where it affects her health later on, bring it up but not now and not in such way. Update. My siblings and I have all gone New York, and my sister is looking into pressing charges. As soon as she said that mom claimed she lied, there weren't peanuts in anything. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much to everyone who commented. I ended up showing this to my sister, and she read basically each and every one in tears. Sometimes you need to hear an outside voice, or several hundred outside voices.